The average woman uses over 168 chemicals on her skin each and every day, and the average man uses about 85. Now, these chemicals are a class of what we call forever chemicals, but the ones we're going to talk today are specifically called phthalates. That's spelled with a P, P-T-H-A-L-A-T-E-S. The problem with phthalates is they are a class of chemicals known as hormone disruptors. And when we start to disrupt our hormones, so what that means is they're going to mimic or block your natural hormones' ability to turn something on or turn something off and just get your body to be functioning the way it should on a daily basis. And when that happens, it creates what I call hormone chaos. Now, when you're exposing yourself to these toxic chemicals each and every day, you're actually putting yourself in harm's way. And it could be the potential cause for chronic headaches, chronic thyroiditis, digestive issues, skin issues, asthma, allergies, even fertility issues, and cancer. So in today's Reset Monday, we're going to talk about what are phthalates, and I'm going to walk you through how many of these you're exposed to all through the day. Now, this is part one of this particular video. And in next week's Reset Monday, I'm going to go through some healthy swaps. So you're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed and that you hit the notification bell so you can get next week's episode and make sure that you know exactly what to do to turn it around. But before I get started, what I'd like to encourage you to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen and start making a list. Walk yourself through your day so that you can start to see exactly how many chemicals you're exposed to. Now, let me just define for you what phthalates are. Phthalates are a synthetic chemical. They're widely used in many products to help make things softer, make plastic softer. They help with perfumes to stick around longer. They're used everywhere. And so we have to be very mindful of what we're using. Now, not every product you use is going to say that it contains phthalates. There's a multitude of different chemicals under which this toxic element lives. But the biggest thing that I want you to think about is perfumes and dyes. And there are perfumes and dyes in just about everything. So the things that you're smelling in that smell really lovely, they're actually phthalates, and they cause inflammation to your brain, your nervous system. It can cause chronic joint aches and pains and just keep you in a chronically ill state of health. So we really want to pay attention to getting these hormone mimickers out of our body and out of our lives. Now, based on the fact that we have so much exposure to these, it's probably, in my opinion, not going to be feasible to get all of them out. But this is why I want to encourage you to start thinking about where you are exposed mostly, and then how you can actually eliminate some of them, if not most of them, and make the healthy swaps that we're going to talk about in next week's episode. So let's just talk about a typical day. And we want to talk about these hidden phthalates from the moment you get up, as you go throughout the day, and from the moment you go to bed. So when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you go into the bathroom and you brush your teeth. Now, that toothpaste is actually going to have a lot of different chemicals in them, classified as forever chemicals, many of them phthalates, and those can actually lead to gum issues. It can lead to allergies, asthma, can create some sinus issues, some excess mucus. And then we go from brushing our teeth to the shower, where we're using shampoos, conditioners, soaps, and all of those tend to have phthalates in them as well. So again, if you're thinking of things that have like scents and smells in them, and you're like, oh, that smells so good, it's so pretty, those are phthalates. Now, you may have walked into your bathroom where you have a Glade plug-in, or perhaps there's a candle. Those are also phthalates. So these are things that are very easy to start to eliminate. You'll want to swap those. I'll give you a couple of little hints as we go through today, but you'll want to swap those with things like essential oil diffusers, and you can buy essential oil roll-ons for different perfumes that way if you like those pretty scents. So think about swapping that out, just get rid of them. A lot of kids get affected by candles and scents and dyes. Kids who have ADD, ADHD, autism, anybody on the spectrum, brain fog, Alzheimer's, dementia, any of those, we should not be having any kind of dyes or scents around these people, because it creates more inflammation in the brain and can perpetuate that particular condition. So start thinking about eliminating that, especially if you know you or somebody in your family has some kind of disruption like that. We want to then look at when we go to breakfast. So we've got, or let's talk about after your shower. So maybe you put lotion on, and then what is in that lotion? And then you are going to put makeup on. If you're a woman, you might put products in your hair. You might use hairspray. You can start to see how these chemicals start to build upon each other. Then we go from the bathroom, and you might go back into your bedroom and you'll spray some perfume on you. Again, you're just layering on the toxic soup that you're exposing yourself to each and every day. And then breakfast, if you have food in plastic containers, if you have products that are in plastic containers, maybe you're using a Keurig, a coffee maker, that you're pouring hot water through your little plastic capsule. Those are one of the worst ways to get these phthalates, because all those toxic chemicals are in those plastics, and then you pour hot water through it and then you drink it. Now, another way to get them is you stop by your favorite coffee shop and you get a hot tea or a hot coffee, and the lining of that cup has these phthalates in them as well. So that is one of the worst ways, and probably the most common way that we're getting exposure to these phthalates is through drinking hot liquids in plastic or in paper cups with a lining that has that chemical in there. And then, of course, if you're drinking from a plastic water bottle, I always recommend getting yourself a stainless steel water bottle, filling it up with filtered water from home, and then just trying to find filtered water throughout your day. But we want to really avoid plastic water bottles at all costs. I did a couple of videos recently on microplastics and our exposure to that. That really goes hand in hand with what we're talking about today. So you might want to go back and reference those videos as well. Then we get into our vehicles. Now, our vehicles oftentimes have, we'll buy those little air fresheners and hang those in there. And those air fresheners are exposure to more toxic chemicals. I've known people who've put those little plastic Glade plugins, they go on the vent of the car. And then when you turn on the heat or the air conditioning, it blows right at you. It's really a violation of your airspace and a violation of your brain and your nervous system. Anything from plastics, so binders, flooring, and anything you touch, receipts throughout the day. Perhaps it's textiles, new carpeting, new flooring. Maybe you got a new car. Those are all ongoing exposure. And then, of course, we come home, and if you've used any cleaning products throughout your home, I really always recommend that we only use natural things to clean. So baking soda and vinegar are my go-tos. That's really all I have. And it's cheap. It is the cheapest way to clean your house. Just a little bit of vinegar in a spray bottle, about a quarter cup. You fill the spray bottle, maybe put a couple of drops of essential oil in it. And that's all you need to clean every surface in your home. And then I use baking soda to clean the toilets and the tub and the sinks, and anything else that I need that needs some grit to it. So be mindful of the cleaning products. We can spend a lot of money on cleaning products and we don't need them. Oftentimes people are using bleach to clean, like, let's say, your toilet and your sinks and your bathtubs. And the problem with that is that bleach is actually, in addition to any phthalate exposure that you have, bleach is considered what's called an asthmagen. And what that means is that if you have any kind of lung condition whatsoever, if you have asthma, it's going to exacerbate it. But an asthmagen actually means that not only will it exacerbate asthma or any other lung condition, it will cause it. So your long-term exposure to any bleach or bleach type products, a lot of the toilet bowl products are bleach based, you're actually going to create yourself a lung condition. So I never recommend using those. Just a good scrub brush and your your baking soda that's fine to clean your toilet bowl. Then when we go to bed, here's the other thing. So we go to bed, we're in synthetic bedding, we have synthetic pillows. And if you're looking for a new bed or looking for pillows or sheets or textiles, I always recommend natural fibers for sheets and blankets. And then of course, your pillows and your bedding. If you look for certification, it's called CertiPure, CertiPur. Those are different certifications that say that these products have been made without petroleum products. They are not off-gassing toxic chemicals. So you'll want to look at the brand of pillow or bedding or textile that you're buying, and you can actually see if it has this certification, you're good to go. If it's CertiPure or higher, you should be good to go. So make sure that you're looking for those certifications. I have a lot of patients that they go and they'll buy new mattresses and they didn't check, and that's a big investment. So you want to make sure you're getting a nice clean mattress. Skincare products before you go to bed, again, brushing your teeth again. And then when we hit the bed, our sheets and everything, our bed clothes, including all the clothes we've been wearing all day, have been washed in our toxic laundry detergent, which is also full of phthalates. So the biggest thing that I say to start with is your laundry detergent. You really want to eliminate your laundry detergent first and start looking for more pure, more clean sources of laundry detergents. Now, there are companies out there that do what's called greenwashing. And what that means is that they utilize false claims. In fact, I'm going to read you the definition of greenwashing. It's a deceptive practice where companies falsely portray their products, services, or policies as environmental friendly to mislead customers and investors into believing that they are making sustainable choices. So this is where you, the consumer, really has to take the bull by the horns and make sure you are doing your due diligence so that you're not falling prey to a lot of these deceptive practices. And they're basically just downright lies for these companies to be able to sell their products. So like I said, in part 2 of this, we're going to talk a little bit more about what are some good healthy options and swaps that you can make so that you can feel good about where you're spending your money and how you're taking care of your family's health. But the first thing I always recommend is your laundry detergent, because you're in your clothes all day, you're sleeping in it at night, and that is probably the biggest exposure that you have. Then you layer on all the other things, all the other toxic chemicals that you've used on your body, in and around your home. And now you can see that we get this recipe for all kinds of hormonal imbalances. For women, it could be irregular periods. It could be for my women in perimenopause and menopause. I see massive hormone disruption in women who are utilizing a lot of these fragrance-based phthalate products. So we really have to clean up the environment in addition to the diet. But if we clean up the diet and we don't pay attention to the environment, we're missing so much of what we need to be able to, we got to get these toxins out of our bodies, out of our lives, and be able to start to clean up shop from the inside out. Again, it could feed into respiratory issues, worsening your asthma, creating chronic allergies, making your allergies worse. And then skin problems, flare-ups of eczema, psoriasis, if you have a persistent rash. Some people will get rashes for no apparent reason. It could be because of your exposure to something with fragrances and these phthalates. Migraines and chronic fatigue. I see this so often, is once we start to eliminate the toxic chemicals from your life, we can start to see the brain starting to work better. So less migraines, less brain fog, more ability to think clearly, to be creative, to even sleep better, because the more you're exposed to these, the more your brain is going to be disrupted and inflamed. And when that happens, it can truly disrupt your overall sleep patterns. And then lastly, just to touch on thyroid dysfunction. And we have so many women in perimenopause and menopause end up having some kind of thyroid dysfunction. And so again, if we're looking at things like fatigue and hair loss and poor quality sleep, we're probably also looking at needing to take care of our thyroid. Getting the phthalates out is one of the first places that I suggest that we start to be mindful of that hormone dysregulation. So things that we can do, we're going to choose phthalate-free products. And again, I'm going to get more specific in part 2. We're swapping out our plastic for stainless steel or glass whenever and wherever we can. And you just really need to avoid your food touching plastic. It's hard. I get it. You go to the store, you put your food in a plastic bag. That's exposure to phthalates and plastics and microplastics. It's crazy when you really start to pay attention. You realize that we're just inundated. So do your best. This is by no means asking you to try to be perfect, but it's just do your best. Start paying attention to 1 or 2 things, and then you can move forward from there. Skip any synthetic fragrances. So again, that's your Glade plugins, it's your perfumes, it's dyes, it's your candles, it's any, room sprays, anything like that. And then go for your more natural cleaning products. So I mentioned earlier, things like baking soda and vinegar are my go-tos. You can't go wrong with that. And again, you can put your essential oils in there and make them smell pretty. And you can't go wrong with natural cleaning products, and it's cheap. So don't be duped. Don't go spend money on really expensive natural cleaning products when you have these 2 items at your fingertips, and you can buy them in bulk and they will last you so long, and it will work better than any chemical cleaning product you can get. And then airing out your environment. As we come into spring, we a lot of times what happens, people don't open their windows. So we go right from winter, and then the air conditioning gets put on and all the windows and doors stay shut. We need to open up our homes, let our homes air out, get outside, get yourself some fresh air, and start to cleanse your body and cleanse your home. We really need that air moving through our homes in order to detox the home environment as well. So all of these steps are going to help to diminish or reduce any hormonal disruptions and start to clean up the outside environment, because what you put on your body is just important as what you put inside your body. So I really wanted to make sure that we got back to this issue of phthalates and our body care products, and just laying out that whole path of what we do from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to bed. And I'm curious what your list looks like. So by all means, my email is in the show notes. Go ahead and click on that. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a nice comment and share this with somebody who you think might be wearing too much perfume or maybe burns a few too many candles. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to leave a nice comment and share this episode. It helps our channel grow. And